Hello humans and welcome back to the Tao Way. Since most of us are quarantined inside, we are probably strength training on our own, so today's video is going to be how to properly put together a strength training routine. I'm going to specifically do bent arm strength, but this will work for just about anything. Now, this video idea came from a Patreon supporter, so thank you for this. If you'd like to support me and get a chance to vote in polls, have exclusive content, exclusive tutorials, you can go to my Patreon link and support me down there. The link is in the description of this video. But without further ado, let's get into how to program the strength. So the first thing that we're going to get into is the general warm-up. Now, the general warm-up is there not only to warm up our bodies, but also to prepare us mentally for the strength training that's going to happen. A lot of the times we're not prepared and then we can give up mid-session or not perform our best. So some of the ideas here you can take or leave it. One of the ideas that you can use during this general warm-up is a tennis ball dribbling drill like the one I have here. There are many regressions to this you could probably find online to do. It's a good full body warm-up. The next one would be football dribbling. This is something I'm still working on at the moment and I still suck at. It's excellent. You're running around the whole court as the ball is just moving everywhere. Good for your mind, good for the body. The other one would be juggling. Now, juggling can be anything from tennis balls to these juggling balls here, any pattern that you know. This would be very good for upper body strength in particular, but also good for the mind to get the coordination down. You can see that the football is slowly rolling away from me because it is not impressed. Now, a warm-up that I recommend, whether you're strength training, mobility, locomotion, handstand, whatever it is, or if you're not training at all, I would still recommend daily hanging, whether it's from a ring, a bar, the door, a tree, anything. So here I'm showing some passive hang, active hanging, one arm passive hanging, one arm active hanging. It doesn't matter if you have a lower body strength training, upper body strength training. Hanging is going to be good for your shoulder, good for the spine, good for the neck, everything. So I recommend doing this every day, not only in the general warm-up, but just throughout the day, throughout your whole life's practice. And the last one that I'm going to recommend is moving the spine. This one goes along with hanging. It should be done whether you are training or not, whether you're doing upper or lower, whether you're doing handstanding, whatever it is, you should be doing this every day as much as you can throughout the day. Now, after the general warm-up, the second thing that we'll get into is the specific warm-up. So we want to warm up the specific patterns that we're working. So for this video, my examples are going to be I'm working towards the one-arm chin-up and the floor handstand push-up. Now, in reality, I already have both of these skills, but I want to show you for example. So for the specific warm-up, my pulling might be something that's very easy for me. Chin-ups for 5 reps, no tempo, but very controlled. So 5 reps is easy, it's not taxing on the nervous system, but it prepares the muscles that are going to be used later in the session, and it's going to prepare that pattern. That's the most important part. And because of the coronavirus, they took off the basketball hoop, gives me more space. And then my floor handstand push-up, I need to warm up the pushing movement. So I'm using a pike push-up, a very easy regression to the handstand push-up. I'm doing 5 reps, controlled. I would do 1 to 3 sets of this to warm up with adequate rest in between. You don't want to exhaust yourself, you just want to practice the pattern and warm up the muscles. Step 3 in the programming scheme is going to be main work. Now, this is going to be the most important part of the practice. This is going to be where we get the most amount of intensity out of our practice, and it's probably going to take the most amount of time because we're going to have to rest a lot. So for the main work, we want to be doing sets with 1 push and 1 pull. So for the examples in this video, I'm going to be doing 1 push working towards the handstand push-up, and then I'm going to be doing 1 pull working towards the one-arm chin-up. So a regression of those. The other thing to keep in mind is you want to pick an exercise where you can do 2 to 6 reps. If we pick an exercise where we can only do 1 rep, it is too intense, and if we pick something that's more than 6, it is too easy. So between that 2 to 6 rep mark. And because we're working at such a high intensity here, we're going to be resting a lot. So we're going to rest 120 to 300 seconds. That's 2 to 5 minutes. Now that might seem like a long time, but that's how long it takes for that energy cycle to actually regenerate. We need that amount of time to go into. Another thing to think about is we want to accumulate a total of 10 to 30 total reps in the practice. Now here I'm giving an example of 2 minutes rest between the sets. So that's what that is. For my pulling movement, I'm going to be doing a strap assisted OAC. So that's what you'll see right here. I'm going to be doing 3 reps for 5 to 7 sets with the tempo of 3-0-x1. 3-second eccentric, 0-second pause at the bottom, explode up, 1-second pause at the top. Now I want to be doing my weak side first since this is unilateral, and I want to match my weak side with my strong side. So my left is my strong side. Now I'm going to pull on my left. I gave about 30 seconds in between each arms to recover my breathing, and then I went right into it. And this is the first set that I did. I'm doing 5 to 7 sets. So 5 to 7 sets at 3 reps gives me 15 up to 21 total reps in the session. Now for my pushing, I'm going to be doing handstand push-ups with the wall for the same amount of reps, for the same amount of sets, for the same amount of tempo. So you can see here, I want to keep all the reps the same, high quality pushing, working towards that eventual handstand push-up on the floor. Now that we've done the main work, after the main work, we're going to get into accessory work. Now the aim of accessory work is to overload the patterns that we did in the main work. So I want to be doing 1 push and 1 pull that complements those 2 exercises. Now typically we're going to be doing more volume in the accessory work. So with more volume means less intensity. So we're going to have high volume, less intensity, and because it's less intensity, we're going to be using less rest. So maybe we would be resting anywhere from 60 to 120 seconds for this one. So for my pulling movement in the accessory work, I'm going to be doing horizontal ring rows. I'm going to be doing 6 to 10 reps for 3 to 5 sets. So that'll give me about 30 reps total, depending on how many sets I do and how many reps I do. I want the quality to still be high. I want to be paying attention to each individual movement, but basically I'm picking a regression to whatever my main work was. Now this might be too easy for you, this might be too hard for you, you're going to have to do it for yourself. Then for the pushing, I'm going to be doing tuck L-sit to tuck shoulder stand to practice that bottom movement of the handstand push-up. I'll be doing 3 reps, holding for 3 seconds in the tuck L-sit and 3 seconds in the tuck shoulder stand, and I'll be doing it for the exact same amount of reps that I did the pulling regression of the horizontal ring rows. Again, I want the quality to be high, and I want to hold the position for the desired amount of time. Again, this might be too difficult for you, this might be too easy depending on yourself. After we have finished the accessory work, number 5, we're going to go into prehab or rehab. So this work is often overlooked in the practice, but I think it's one of the most important steps to keep you healthy, to keep you working hard. So for bent arm, we typically need something for the rotator cuff. And I really like to introduce people to the unilateral seated Cuban rotation. So here I'm doing 8 to 12 reps for 3 sets with the tempo of 4-0-2-0. That's a 4-second eccentric, 0-second pause at the bottom, 2-second concentric, 0-second pause at the top. I'm keeping proper scapular retraction and depression and high quality. Now, since this is a unilateral exercise, I will always do my weaker or injured side first, and then I will match it with my stronger or uninjured side second. I don't rest at all between these reps, and I go back and forth for those 3 sets with no rest in between. Now the last part of our strength training program is going to be the cool down. We need to cool down not only the body, but also the nervous system and the mind. So I like to put meditation in this part of the routine. So I'll be doing seated meditation. To start out, you can do 5 minutes, then you can slowly build up to 7, 10, 15 minutes in a seated position. There are many different types of meditation. This is just one of them. Now, what I've given you is a general concept of strength training. This is not a one-all be-all. This is not the perfect strength training routine. It is but a concept. Take that concept and adjust it to your needs. If you have any questions on what we went over in today's video, please let me know in the comments section down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, like and share the video, and that is the session.